Welcome everybody, Steve here. Today we're starting to prep all the little things that we need to paint for our 56 Ford here, Project Gray. Now these are just little miscellaneous interior stuff that I'm going to do here right away. It's still pretty cold where I'm at. The weather's not cooperating, there's still lots of snow, but this little stuff I'm still going to be able to do it. And I may have to figure something out to paint the rest of it because, you know, long term doesn't look good either. And I want to get painting. But, little stuff, we got to get this done. So we got interior panels. These ones here just cover up where the hinges bolt up. And we've got some bolts we got to paint. And then there's a strip that goes on the top of the dash. We're painting that as well. So, there's lots to do. So today I'm just going to prep up everything. I'm just going to be using mechanical for the most part, you know, because, you know, we don't have to have these perfect. But shouldn't take long. It always seems to happen. You always get that one little blemish that you got to repair. And that's the nice thing about having a guide coat. It just showed right up. So what we're going to do is we're going to just fill that with the little bit of two-part putty. So I don't need very much putty there to fix that blemish. So what I do is I put a little bit of hardener on the side. And then you just take a little tiny bit that you need. That way you don't overdo it. Okay, to do where the screws go, I've got I don't know, it's a pretty sharp little burring tool here. Don't know where I got it from. You can use a stone. And I just put a little bit of Scotch-Brite on there. Done. These little tight guys, they work perfect for that. You think I'm going to do that by hand? Wrong. When you're working with these little things, you know, hanging them is tough because if you hang them, they're so light, you know, they're just kind of flopping all over the place. So what I'm going to try and do, I've got a box here and I got some double-sided tape. I'm just going to kind of tape them to the box. And that way, I should have a lot more fun painting them. So what I planned on doing here got some double-sided tape. I've got it over the edge as well. And then I'm just going to take a little roll of tape, bend it over so that, kind of on the back here, so that I know that it's going to stick to the double-sided tape. Because I've got a little ridge here, I just don't want to have that one little tiny spot, if you know what I mean. So I'm thinking this is going to work. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. One blows off while I'm painting it, then we got to repaint it. Now for these door panels, the hole, if I use a 1/4 inch bolt on some of these, they're fairly tight and I can actually get it to screw in. See, how does this side work? Maybe a little bit better. Because if you put just a wire around here, you got to paint around that wire and you end up with a little spot that you miss all the time. And the backs, I've already painted these. They're kind of a flat black. That's not too bad there. That'll hold it. That was a little tighter. And then what I'll do is just run a wire and then I'll hang them at the back over here. That way they're not going to flop all over the place. These things, I'm just going to have to probably use a bolt on that as well. Not really. I think these things here, just because it's a small interior part, I've got a little hook. See if I can find it. Be right back. So what I do with these things is I'll hang it here. And then when I'm painting it, I'm going to have to grind this down a little bit or do a little thinner rod. I'll just stick my rod in here, however I want to do it. And that kind of holds the piece from just, flopping all over the place. So that's what I'll do with these. Now I know what you're thinking. Why don't I just lay these panels if the back side is already painted? I'm not going to paint the back side. I'm just going to paint the front because the back side I painted, like I said, I painted it with it was a flat black, something I had laying around. Now you're saying, like, why don't I lay this panel down and spray it? Well, the door was hung, so if I laid these down, because this is a metallic, it just actually might have a bit of a different tint to it, and it'll have a little different finish because how you apply your clear as well. So that's why the door was hung this way, so I want my panel hung this way so that it's going to look the same on the door. Does that make sense? I think it does. A lot of guys make that mistake with their fenders as well. They'll lay their fenders down to paint them and then put them on the truck and they look different. next morning. And everything looks good. Just have to give it a light tack and I think we're ready to go. Looking good.